My new rain gauge got tested yesterday. After almost 24 hours of continuous rain, we've had a little over 1 3/4 inches of rain. Well, after all that rain, I decided to lift the floating row cover to see if there's any damage, and I'm surprised to find insect damage on quite a few of the brassicas. I don't know how well this will show up, but there's barely a skeleton left of that kale plant. I've brought out a kale plant from the light garden to replace it with, and several other of the brassica plants have been chewed on, so I can't seem to find what's doing it. Thinking it might be slugs, but I don't see any, so anyway, I bought some organic slug bait and put that down and see if that stops the problem. Well, there's also been some damage to the lettuce. Looks like a leaf miner might have been doing damage inside of the leaf, or I suppose it could be just cold. If it was too cold at night, it might have touched some of the leaves, but it doesn't seem to be all that severe, but there is some damage there. But the thing I really want to brag about is the beets. The beet seed packets and various gardening books, including the Square Foot Gardening book, tell you not to start beets in the house because they won't transplant. Well, so far I don't see much of a problem here. I've transplanted, I think altogether here, I think there's 5 squares with 16 in each square, and not a single plant is even wilted, so I'm pleased with that. Well, the sun was nice and warm today, and supposed to be several more days of good weather, so I've decided to put in my bush beans. This particular variety is called Royal Burgundy, and the Square Foot Gardening book says 9 plants to a cell, so I've got enough to plant a couple of cells here, I guess, with the Royal Burgundy. This second kind of bush bean is one that I brought home from France. It's some of the French Ercovert, the long, slender, very tender French beans. The one that's the variety they call a mange tout, which means you can eat all of it. There isn't any stringy part or whatever that has to be removed. It's a very delicate bean. Looking forward to trying those. Well, that's the beans planted and the slug bait distributed. Hopefully that will stop whatever it is that's been eating my new seedlings. This is Primula japonica, the last of the primroses to bloom in my garden. There may be later varieties, but I don't have any of them. Japonica starts now and goes through until mid-June or later. And it's a prolific spreader, throws its seeds everywhere, and you have them popping up all over the place, which, as I've said before, is something that I like. It doesn't bother me at all. I'll finish this little video off with a look at one of the very early spring blooming clematis. This is Clematis integrifolia hendersonii, which I presume its common name would be something like Henderson's clematis. It only blooms once, that is, it just blooms in the spring, very early. It's not even June yet, and it's in full bloom. And that's it. It doesn't rebloom through the year at all. Just has very interesting seed pods on it after that. This is up in my roadside garden. I don't know how much of it you can see, but it has starting to climb a pine tree. It just grows everywhere here. Integrifolia, I think, refers to its very close association with the wild clematis.